Ruben Amorim's United reign started about as well as he could have dreamed of, with a goal coming in our first attack of the game, and he showed just what his 3-4-3 system is capable of doing. So Onana has the ball here, and is going to pass it to Jonny Evans. Jonny Evans is going to draw Amari Hutchinson in the press, and he's going to pass it back to Onana. De Ligt has moved from this central centre-back position into midfield, as Amorim likes his players to do. Liam Delap has De Ligt in his cover shadow, so Onana has to pass it out wide to Mazraoui. An advantage of having a wing-back system is that the wing-backs are nice and wide, offering a passing option, which Mazraoui takes and passes it to Ahmad. And this next sequence is one I'm sure we'll see very often, which is that one of the number 10s, which is Bruno in this case, moves wide from his central position to receive the pass up the line, while the wing-back, Ahmad, makes the pass and continues his run in field to receive the ball back. And then, of course, Ahmad does brilliantly to carry the ball 3/4 of the way up the pitch, shrugging off a couple of challenges. He makes it all the way inside the box. Rashford, who's playing striker, is making this run into the box, and Ahmad plays an inch-perfect cross right into his path, and Rashford has a simple tap-in right in front of the goalkeeper to send United fans into a frenzy, kicking Amorim's reign off with a bang.
But the growing pains were obvious to see as well, as the players clearly were not yet fully adjusted to playing Amorim's system. This is the exact same action in the 88th minute with different personnel. Luke Shaw at left centre back, Dalot here at left back, and Mason Mount at left cam. Luke Shaw is going to pass the ball up the pitch to Dalot, which should trigger Mason Mount to make the run from infield to the touchline. But Mount hesitates slightly, while Dalot makes the pass blindly, expecting Mason Mount to be there, and the ball goes out of bounds. In my previous video, I analysed how Ruben Amorim Sporting were able to handle Manchester City's press. We'll watch that clip, and then we'll compare it to how United fared against Ipswich.
So the wide centre-backs are split wide, as it's supposed to be, Debast and Race on the ball. The middle centre-back, Diomande, has joined this double pivot in midfield. Hjulmand is acting as the other double pivot. The other midfielder who would normally be there, Merida, has pushed up the pitch along with everyone else. Araujo is here. Quenda, the wing-backs, keeping the width. The ball's going to get played to Araujo. Hjulmand shifts across to offer a passing option. Gonçalves drops as well to offer a passing option, and that's where the ball would eventually go. Gonçalves takes the touch away from Kovacic, who's trying to press him, and shifts it across to Debast. And with just 3 passes, the City press, which is usually so formidable, has been bypassed, and he can play the ball to Quenda, and they're on the attack.
So now let's have a look at United's setup. De Ligt, as we pointed out before, has moved from the central centre-back position into midfield. Eriksen is higher up than Casemiro, as the Sporting midfield players were as well. The differences begin as De Ligt moves back towards goal rather than into this space to offer a passing option, which leaves a big gap here as Onana passes the ball out wide to Jonny Evans. Eriksen recognises this and drops back in to offer a passing option as Jonny Evans passes out to Dalot. As Dalot receives the ball, let's compare this picture to the Sporting game. Going back to the Sporting game, you can see that Hjulmand is there as a passing option in midfield, and Gonçalves is also dropping in here to offer himself, and he eventually ends up receiving the ball. If we jump back to the United game, Eriksen is where Hjulmand was, but Garnacho is nowhere to be seen. He's not dropping in to offer that secondary passing option as Gonçalves had done for Sporting, which left Dalot having to try to run into the space before eventually having to turn back towards goal. Of course, we can't not talk about Onana's heroics when he prevented at least 2 surefire goals. So Ipswich is going to go long. Ahmad falls asleep a little bit and allows Davis to get the run on him. Davis checks back in the box and assesses his options. He could give it to Delap here, but just decides to wait a moment. Delap takes the hint and makes a brilliant run into the penalty spot, which catches all of United's 3 defenders off guard. Davis plays an unbelievable ball right into Delap's path, and in this situation you're expecting a surefire goal here, there and everywhere. Delap absolutely thunderbolts it, but Onana comes out and makes a heroic save. Here you can see Jonny Evans has moved all the way in here to try to block off this pass to Delap, which was the right idea, but the 2 Ipswich lads were just too good on this occasion. as Delap strikes, you can see that there is a big gap over on this side that he could have aimed for, but he decides to go across the goal, and Onana puts his body on the line to make the tremendous save. And of course, we have to talk about Ipswich's goal. Burns has the ball on the wing. You can see Ipswich were really penning us back here, with most of our players in the box defending. Burns takes kind of a big touch infield, but Dalot doesn't engage for whatever reason, or put in a challenge. Burns is able to get off this easy pass to Hutchinson, right in between Garnacho and Casemiro. Hutchinson cleverly drops the shoulder, which leaves Casemiro completely out of the play, and bends one towards the far post. Mazraoui jumps and tries to deflect the ball away with his head, but it actually ends up taking the ball away from Onana towards goal. Onana lunges for it, but actually ends up diving slightly too far because of the deflection, and the ball ends up in the back of the net. A great strike and a great goal, but I'm sure Amorim would have seen it as preventable.
If you enjoyed the video, guys, please consider subscribing and leave a like. Cheers!